matter how many times or how much research we do, how much advancement in science and in technology, man is man and God is God. Man is not omnipotent and omnipresent, or how do you put it? Because ever since I was young, I've been hearing about Vision 2020. Vision 2020 this, Vision 2020 that. And my impression was that it was going to be glorious, It was going to be whoop, whoop. But nobody predicted, no science, no research work, no discovery, no groundbreaking discovery predicted that there was going to be this sort of pandemic in 2020 that will shut down the world. Nobody. Because I'm sure if science could give us this picture, something would have been done to forestall it, but it caught the whole world by surprise. So I'm sure last year when we were permutating and going on about Vision 2020, God just looked at us and smiled because he knows, and that goes to show you that there's a higher power, man doesn't have all the answers.
We are seeing a huge demand for certain sanitizer and
quite a lot of empty shelves though. You see, as human beings, our basic need is not Instagram followers or iPhone or data, Wi-Fi. Our basic need is actually food. All that get rich or die trying, work hard, work till you drop. It's all about food, really. Food is the basic human need. Because this pandemic, man, the way everyone was rushing for food, I went shopping. I didn't see any food to buy. We were scavenging for food like some animals in the forest who were just thinking about themselves and not the next person. Man, the way we went for the food, all the shelves were empty. All the carts were empty. Man's got to eat. Food, man, that's the basic human need. At the end of the day, all the hustle, all the mubu, all the everything, it all comes down to food. Food first. Everything second. I mean, even the hustle for tissue paper is still tied to food, All that, hustle to buy tissue paper is you have to eat first, and then you get pressed, and then you use the toilet, and then you need tissue paper. Like, it just seemed like everything sort of evolved around food, And in a world where everybody is so fit farm and fit conscious and watching their diet, like, I didn't think food was that important, but it is actually. It is. Man lives for food. Man lives for bread. It's all about the bread. It's all about the bread. Appointed unto man to die. I mean, one of the most painful deaths was this Arotile, this Nigeria's first combat female pilot. You can be Nigeria's first combat pilot, the youngest, the first female, and still die because someone was reversing their car. Some kind of weird, funny death like that. Nigeria's first female combat pilot. There were many deaths that shocked all of us. When we heard about Kobe Bryant's death, it didn't feel normal. It didn't feel like he was one of those people that ought to die. I mean, it was shocking. And then when Chadwick Boseman died, it was like, no. You are Black Panther. You're Wakanda. You can't die. But he did. But all this while, it still felt like stories about other people to me. It still felt like I was reading about other people until I got the call that my dad had died. And it couldn't be more real at that point. I still haven't gotten over that image of when his body was being lowered to the ground and my brother was asked to take a shovel and put sand in his grave. The reality really, it's really come home to stay, and I'd say I've embraced death, like whenever it comes. Not anytime soon, I hope, but it's a reality that we're all going to die one day. That's just what one of my biggest takeaways from 2020. I think the fourth is that no matter what life throws at you, survival is completely possible. See how the world just moved on from this pandemic. Everybody's zooming, everybody's working from home, lockdown, everybody's making a plan, It's almost like the world quickly went into survival mode and, you know, started trying to work with the hands that we've been dealt. Okay, but on a more personal note, I'm someone that have always gotten help with housekeeping. Someone always comes to help me do major cleaning in my house or assist with the cooking. I've never had to do it by myself for such a long time, and I've been married for almost 9 years. But for the first time in almost 9 years, I found myself doing everything alone, from cooking to cleaning to everything on my own. I mean, I got some help from my husband, but majority of the chores fell on me. And I found myself more productive. I struggled a bit. I won't lie, my house was messy most of the time. It wasn't really the easiest, of the process, but I found myself more productive, keeping track of my time, still getting work done, still doing my business, and everything else I had to do, I kept doing it. So I'll say that it's possible. It's really, really possible. So I'll say that when life throws certain things at you, survival instinct kicks in. Everybody can survive anything. Another big thing is that we had a burial maybe not in the midst, but at the tail end of the pandemic, in between lifting lockdowns and all of that. We now had to start flying into the country. Who would believe that at a time when the world is tightening their expenses, we had a glorious burial for my dad? I had to travel to Nigeria and, make certain contributions. And, we pulled this burial off. I can't believe it actually happened. I look back and I'm like, wow, we did that. We actually made it happen. We actually came together and pulled this burial off. Amazing. Simply amazing. So I just feel life throws certain things at you. Survival is possible, if we make up our mind to just keep it moving. I also learned a very personal lesson on friendships. When I lost my dad during this pandemic, the people that were there for me were still my friends from secondary school. Those ones I'd known for quite a while. Friends like my junior sister, my sister-in-law. I think we find friendships in the most unusual places. We always assume that it's our pack of friends, but actually you can be surrounded with several people because you move in the same circles. Maybe because you work in the same area or you live in the same area or stuff. That doesn't necessarily make them friends. It just means they're acquaintances, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that we need to be able to tell the difference between real friendships and just and people we're acquainted with. We're going to meet a lot of people in life and we're going to tag them friends. But in actual fact, they are just people you're acquainted with, because they're not going to do friendship things like be there for you when it really matters, reach out to you when it really matters. They are just in your circle, but that does not necessarily mean they're friends. There is a whole world of difference, and for me, that was a very personal lesson from 2020. So guys, those are my lessons from 2020. Feel free to share yours in the comment section. It was nice chatting with you.